United States-China relations over Taiwan remains tense. And at the heart of the issue is China's claim over self-governed Taiwan. The recent military drills by China is expected to escalate tensions even further. China has launched 2 days of what they call punishment military drills around Taiwan after its new president pledged to defend its sovereignty. Chinese state media claim that dozens of People's Liberation Army fighter jets carrying live missiles carried out mock strikes against what they call high-value military targets. The drills were the first significant response by China to the swearing-in of President Lai Ching-te, whom Beijing dislikes. Mr. Lai's political party asserts Taiwan's separate status from China, and in a high-profile inaugural speech, he even vowed to keep Taiwan's democracy safe from Chinese pressure. These latest military drills, codenamed Joint SWOT 2024A, involves units from the Army, Navy, Air Force and Rocket Force operating in the Taiwan Strait to the north, south and east of the main island. Units will also be operating around the islands of Kinmen, Matsu and Dongyin, which are all close to the Chinese mainland. Now, in response to the military drills, Taiwan has accused China of what they say, quote-unquote, irrational provocation and disruption of regional peace and stability. The Defense Ministry said sea, air and ground forces have already been put on alert and base security has been strengthened. Air defense and missile forces have all been ordered to monitor any possible targets. It is also preparing for cognitive warfare operations. This latest development comes after China conducted the largest of such exercises in recent years to protest the visit to Taiwan of Nancy Pelosi, who was also the House Speaker at the time. Now, those drills, which included the firing of Chinese missiles near and over Taiwan, covered 6 swaths of sea surrounding the island, 3 of which actually appear to overlap the areas that Taiwan regards as its own territorial waters. Those exercises lasted 4 days, and China conducted additional exercises for several days after. It was in the year 2022, after a visit to Taiwan by US Speaker Nancy Pelosi, that China responded with an unprecedented show of force, carrying out military exercises around Taiwan in retaliation. China, which was livid at what it perceived as United States support for Taiwan's de facto independence, a red line for Beijing, the Chinese leadership now believes that Washington is actually using Taiwan as a strategic asset to contain the mainland. Now, in this context, Beijing has opted to use military means just short of war, such as live-fire exercises off the coast to deter independence and to potentially prepare for non-peaceful reunification. Well, Beijing claims Taiwan is a province of China and has vowed to annex it by force if necessary. Taiwan's government, meanwhile, and the people overwhelmingly reject the prospect of Chinese Communist Party rule, and Taiwan's leaders have already vowed to increase deterrence measures and boost their defenses while urging China to cease its threats and return to dialogue. But in recent years, China has heightened its pressure on Taiwan, with increased Air Force incursions into its air defense identification zone, economic coercion, and cognitive warfare designed to convince Taiwan to accept a Chinese takeover without war. The mainland has also used diplomatic, economic, and other tools to exert pressure, for example, conducting cyber attacks against the government, detaining Taiwanese politicians and activists, and embargoing Taiwanese products as well. Beijing sees the island as a breakaway province that will eventually be part of their country, and has also not ruled out the use of force to achieve this aim. But many in Taiwan consider themselves to be part of a separate nation, although most are in favor of maintaining the status quo, where Taiwan neither declares independence from China nor unites with it. So what does the United States have to do with China-Taiwan relations? Well, the United States maintains official ties with Beijing and also recognizes it as the only Chinese government under its One China policy, but it also remains Taiwan's most significant international supporter. Washington is bound by law to provide Taiwan with defensive weapons, and United States President Joe Biden has also said that the United States would defend Taiwan militarily, breaking with a stance known as strategic ambiguity. The island has long been one of the most contentious issues in US-China relations, with Beijing condemning any perceived support from Washington for Taipei. And under President Xi Jinping, China has ramped up this grey zone warfare, sending record number of Chinese fighter jets near Taiwan and holding military drills in response to political exchanges between the United States and Taiwan. Well, one will have to see what impact will China's latest military punishment drills around Taiwan have on this delicate relationship between the United States, China and Taiwan.